Okay, guys, Paul Bates, and today I really want to talk about autopilot. Do you need autopilot for, if you're America's Great Loop or trawling in general? And this is my opinion on autopilot. But before we get started here, let's go over the four major components of your autopilot. And one is your hydraulic pump here. Now, in an earlier video, I talk about do you want a hydraulic steering or cable steering in your 40-year-old trawler? I'm going to link that video right here because you really want to get hydraulic steering because it's a cheaper autopilot. It really is. It's not horrible to install, especially for your do-it-yourselfers. Right here, I'll go over the four major components. This is your pump right here, and you just hook it into your hydraulic ram on the back of your boat. Then this is your brain right here, and then this is your compass for your that connects to the brain, and then this right here is the device that lets you steer the boat or set a course. And you see right here 295, so let you steer 295. You can see this is the exact one that I have on, well, it's a little bit different, but it's the same Raymarine that I have on Southern Estate right here. That's the one that's up at my helm station. I actually have two control stations, one at the upper helm and the lower helm station. Now, what's the autopilot do? So I'm going to kind of use this as an example right here because this is Loop Princess right here. And you see this chart right here. This is the chart that I'm on right here. And you see these two lines right here. So this is the line that my navigation, this is what Navionics tells me that the line I want to hold. And then this is the line that the boat is on right here. You can see that line right there. And so the autopilot, when it's set correctly, it'll hold me right on that. And you want to keep these two lines together right here, and you just hit a button and it does that. Well, in a 6-knot trawler, man, it is huge. It's a big, for me, it's a no-brainer because at 5 knots, at 6 knots, 7 knots, 8 knots, anywhere these slow speeds like that, man, to try and hand steer that for 6,000 miles on America's Great Loop, woo, you'd be asking to do a lot, baby. I mean, your arms will be tired. And then another big thing is nighttime. I'm going to link a video right here because nighttime, when you're out there, or even fog, I'm going to do my fog video right here. When you're out there in the fog, man, to try and hand steer that, nah, no, ain't no joking. I would not be trying to hand steer that. I'm using the autopilot, and we use the autopilot probably about 80% of the steering in the boat. If I have to go up, if I have to leave the station and go up at any time, while I'm driving the boat, all I do is turn the autopilot on and run down. If I got to go into the engine room, I turn the autopilot on and go. Now, that doesn't mean like on the river system here, you got to be very careful because you can't just leave it on and walk away because you'll run up on the bank or the shore or something like that. It doesn't know any better. So you got to be very careful with that, and know your conditions and what your situation is. And like I said, it's about 80% steering as autopilot, and that's what I use. I recommend it. Now, some of the faster, go fast boats like your Carvers and Sea Rays and stuff like that, some of those guys don't have the autopilot on their boat because they've lost the taste in their mouth after they spent $150,000, $200,000 on their Carver. Doesn't have autopilot. It's another $10,000, $15,000 to get it installed, and they just, they're only out there for 3 to 4 hours motoring along at probably 15, 16, 17 knots, and it's a huge difference, when you only have 2 to 3 hours of motoring versus 6 to 8 to 10 hours a day on a slow 7-knot boat. So, to me, autopilot is definitely something that I'm spending the money on. You can put one of these units together. So you can see right here, the price of this unit right here is $1,799. Now, if you were going to just buy the parts, you'd probably be looking at about at least another $500 to $600 in parts right here, because you need lines and there's all the fittings, and there's a few things that you'll need even after spending the $1,799 for you do-it-yourselfers. So you're going to be in it for probably right at $2,500 if you bought this system right here. Now, if you have this installed, this same system, you're going to be plus parts, plus labor. You're probably going to be somewhere around $4,500 to $5,000-ish. That's with the cost of the unit, which is about $2,000, and $500 for parts and about $2,500 in labor. So for you do-it-yourselfers, you can save a lot of money. But for you guys that have to pay to get this done, just know when you go to buy that trawler, if it doesn't have autopilot, it doesn't have a good autopilot, but they're pretty reliable. Once you get to a certain age here, it really is it's just a hydraulic pump, a brain, and a compass right here. I mean, even an older autopilot, they work great as long as this pump right here is in good shape and it's not leaking and anything like that. So, and even replacing that pump right there is not that big of a deal. Anyway, I'm a huge believer in autopilot. This is definitely a place that I would be spending some money on, and that is one of the electronics that I would use. I know in the past I say save money on your electronics, like you don't need radar. I'll link that video right here, but you do, in my opinion, on a slow trawler, you definitely want to make the investment in your in a decent autopilot. And Loop Princess had Simrad. This boat has the Ray Marine. Both basically the same. The components are basically the same. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Bye.